Hey folks, Captain Mark here from Kings Landing Sport Fishing. It is actually Monday, August 7th, and I am off the lake. It's pretty windy outside, raining, storming, you name it. We got the weather right now. But I wanted to bring you guys a quick video, really speaking about the last little while on the lake. We've had the Scotty King of Kings tournament this past weekend. Congratulations to Team Unreal for taking the win. Great to see Jim and the guys take the win. Real good guys. Anyways, but with that, I want to bring you guys a bit of a report because I've not been posting reports out of respect for all of the other anglers as well as my teammates as we look to find the fish. Unfortunately, we did compete in the tournament. Thursday and Friday we had tons of bites, which I'll talk about in a bit. And then Saturday came and we had tons of bites again. The only problem was on Saturday, we had this thing called the dropsies. We ended up boating 8 fish. Our 6 biggest just were not big enough. I think we finished in 10th or 11th place in the tournament. Unfortunately, we just lost way too many. Like I said, we boated 8 and we lost 16 fish. So we had 25 bites on Saturday. It just felt like our good bites, we couldn't stick the hooks in our mouths and we lost them. We tried double octopus, we tried some trebles, and it wasn't working. We were losing fish. It was getting pretty disappointing, but it happens. That's fishing. Anyway, so let's go back to Thursday. So Thursday was pre-fish day number 1. Started out Thursday morning, and I actually powered up the Kings Landing Sport Fishing Tiara, and we set up lines probably about 2 miles east of Highland Creek. We started in the 130 feet of water, and we trolled from, call it just, at that point, you're kind of just a few miles west of the nuclear plant. We trolled in that 130 to 140 line, all the way from a few miles west of the nuclear plant to, I think it's the Petticoat Creek, which is the next creek after Duffin's Creek. So, we were pretty close to Whitby at that point. So we must have trolled on Thursday morning from about 5:45 until I want to say about 1:30. So we put some serious hours in, and I'm not gonna lie, we smashed them. We got so many fish. It was really positive. Everyone had a great day on the boat. That was myself, my buddy Bill, my buddy John, and my buddy Jim, and we were really pumped up and happy. That being said, as we were out, the wind started to kick up a little bit from, I'm going from memory now, I want to say it was the west. So it was a little bit bumpy coming back, but the Tiara handled it no problem. We got back in. Jim had to go to work, got some lunch, took a little nap, and got ready to go out in the evening for pre-fishing. So the evening came, and it was myself, my dad, and Bill. And we went out, and we decided we were going to fish east of the marina, but staying closer to the marina, fish the water between Bluffers and Highland Creek. It was bumpy from the southwest. They were just hitting the corner of the boat, and we really struggled to square the lines. We were seeing fish like crazy all over the sonar, but I think we only got 3 bites on Thursday night. They were solid quality bites on Thursday night, but we only got 3 bites and went in right before that storm hit on Thursday night. Literally, it was starting to thunder and lightning as we were about a mile and a half from the marina. So pretty glad when we got that boat to the dock and tied up and took some cover as the storm came down because it was pretty windy. Anyways, that was Thursday. And actually, maybe if I just touch on Thursday, I'd say on Thursday, it was all working. Riggers, divers, long lines, 300 weighted steel and the 350 weighted steel were doing some work, more so the 350 weighted steel with a spoon versus the 300 with a fly. So Friday came, pre-fish day, we had the whole team together. So myself, my dad, Serge, Bill, John, and Jim, 5 of us, and we decided to do something we never do. We took King's Landing to our 11-meter Trojan. That was going to be our pre-fish boat for the Friday. Big, huge boat, almost 40 feet, over 40 feet length overall, about 14 and a half foot beam. We joke around calling it the aircraft carrier, huge boat. So we decided we were going to troll west. So we set up right in front of the marina, and we trolled all the way to the spit. The water was cold, but there was lots of fish around. And we were picking up fish, decent fish, but just not huge fish like we had the day before. So we trolled all the way from Bluffers, all the way to the spit. We spun around, and we trolled all the way past the filtration plant. And at that point in time, while we'd got fish, we just weren't satisfied with the class of fish we were seeing, and we were seeing the water getting colder and colder on the drop. So we made the decision to pick up and run. That's something we never do when we're in this boat, because this boat costs a fortune to run. Twin 454s, really, really heavy, but we said we're going to run. We're going to go back to our spot just east of Highland Creek because we wanted to see if the fish were still there. Wanted to make sure the southwest winds hadn't moved around. So we got back there. I want to say we got back there just after lunchtime, maybe 12:15, 12:30. Set up, and we fished from 12:15, 12:30 till 2:30 on the dot, which would mean the end of regulation time of tournament day, and that's why we did it. And I think we got 6 or 7 bites in such a short window in the middle of the day. So we were really impressed, and pretty much made up our mind that we were going to go spend tournament day there. So on the Friday, what worked, I'd say predominantly a meat bite for us, except for we did have 2 spoons on the 350 weighted steel and the 400 weighted steel, and they took a bunch of bites too all day. So we were pretty happy. When we pre-fish, we ran a 7-rod spread, but the King of Kings tournament only actually allows you to run 6. So that's where a bit of that game theory came in on Saturday morning. Did we run 2 long lines or 3 riggers? So anyways, long and short of it, we made the decision on Saturday to run 3 riggers, 2 divers, 1 long line. That was our 6-rod spread. So Friday morning came. We made the decision to run east. So we made the decision also to run King's Landing 2, the 11-meter Trojan, the big, heavy boat. I think we shocked a lot of teams when we came out. On that boat, they probably thought we were going to run out front, just fish out front. And then my dad dropped the hammer and put that sucker on plane, and we flew east at about 22 miles an hour, which is a speed that boat never does. But on Saturday morning, it did that speed, and it did it well. Now, granted, our wallets hurt a little bit after that, but, the rest is history. Also, one of the reasons we went east is I spoke to a couple of the charter guys that went out on Friday night when they came back in on Friday night, and they'd all say it was pretty rough fishing at the drop, so we made the decision to go east. So we went east. We set up probably right in the midpoint between the nuclear plant and Highland Creek, right in that 120, 130 line, and I'll tell you, we got the bites. As I mentioned earlier, 24 bites. We only landed, I think we landed 9 fish we landed, including 1 shaker. But the shaker was useless. We threw it back. Hopefully he gets bigger and remembers me in another tournament later. But we ended up landing 9 fish of the 24 bites that we had, predominantly a meat bite. That being said, as we got later through the day, you started changing stuff up, and threw it a fly on a diver, set at 150, and next thing you know, we got a nice, I'd say 18-pound king. So then we popped the 350 weighted steel. That's what we went with that day. We took the 350 weighted steel out of the spread, put in the 200 weighted steel with a new flasher that I've been testing and a new fly that I've been testing. So I'm not going to tell you the names yet because I haven't even named them yet. And next thing you know, we took a 22-pound king on it. So we ended up, like I said, with a 6-fish box. I think we weighed about 75-ish pounds for our 6 fish. So not as big as we would like. But we ended up with 136 points in the tournament, because every fish was also worth 10 points of your 6. And I think, like I said, we finished 10th or 11th. Don't know exactly what the ranking was. So that was the weekend. Then Sunday morning came, and Sunday morning I had a bunch of guys out with me that I take out every year. And, based on everything I knew, and based on the fact that we knew the wind was going to kick up on Sunday, I made the decision to fish east. But not run east, just set up right in front of the marina, just off to the side, and troll east towards Highland Creek. And it was a really fast and furious bite first thing. Between, I'd say, about 6:10 and 7:30, we got a whole bunch of bites, got some nice fish landed, and then someone turned off the switch like that. And we trolled for another bunch of hours with absolutely nothing. I was talking to other captains who were fishing in similar water with very little success, and a few that came out a little bit later, they really struggled because they missed that early bite. Long and short of it, we ended up getting one more hit. Actually, it was a funny hit because I was literally popping the riggers to check to make sure I had no shakers, and right as I'm popping the rigger, I felt a bite, and we landed about a 7-pound king. So bad day for that 7-pound king to be following the 77 rigger with meat as I was doing that. But, Sunday we fished until probably about 10 a.m. And then the east winds really started to kick up. And that was one of the other reasons I went east, because if the east winds kick up, I want to be in a position where I've already turned the boat around and I'm trolling back to the marina. Because if you're in a nasty wind or nasty waves, and we were at that point probably about 3 or 4 footers, you want them on the rear end of your boat because they make it much, much smoother than going into it, and much better for speed control. But anyways, that is the weekend. Overall, 4 days of fishing, 4 fantastic days of fishing. Tested out some rigs. There's a few rigs actually that I was testing out that are not yet available at projectsalmon.ca that I will be definitely bringing next year. Because they just work. They work very, very well. But that's 4 great days of fishing. Those are really the days that I'm not on the water chartering. I get to have a little bit of enjoyment, test out some rigs, get some gear going, and hopefully win a tournament, which we did not do this time, but we had more than enough bites. So as we were saying as a team, unfortunately we lost it on the rods, not being able to land these fish, but those are the breaks, especially when you start to get into August and these fish are starting to transition and their mouths are starting to get really hard. Anyways, sorry for the long report, but, lot to cover in 4 days. There is some wind the next day and a half, so please be careful. Don't yet know what to expect. As I look at the weather boys right now, they're still reporting pretty warm surface temperatures. The only question is, what has that done to the water underneath? Are we gonna have a really high thermocline, or are we gonna have really soupy? I've seen east winds like this do both. So I it's hard to say. If I would probably lean to colder water, but you just don't know, because I've lent to colder water when it's a strong east, and next to being out there and I've been in soup that's 70 degrees down 100 feet. So just don't know. It's a bit of a toss up. Anyways, good luck, folks. Get out there, but only when it's safe. Talk to you later. Bye.